I understand his point of view. However, Bortles was no good. People who said he was no good were right. As you can see from the behavior of the Jags, he's no longer the starter. Coughlin decided to pay him. That was wrong. So Tom Coughlin can explain his thought process, but he came to the incorrect conclusion. So he is to blame.
Of course he's to blame, but only for one reason and one reason only: his faith in Blake Bortles. Here's the reality of the situation. You have a franchise that was knocking on the door of a Super Bowl appearance. They came within one quarter of going to the Super Bowl. You were recognized as having one of the elite defenses in all of football. You don't mess that up. Now, we say Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles has been pretty bad this year. We all recognize that. He's only completing about 60% of his passes, 13 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, a QBR of 46, and that's really normal for him. He's just not very good. Others who have tried to support him have said he's never had a number one receiver. He's had a bevy of coaches and coordinators. He's been in a tough spot. I don't give a damn. He's not that good, period. Having said all of that, here's what's most egregious. Case Keenum was potentially available. Teddy Bridgewater was available. Josh McCown was available. Ryan Fitzpatrick was available. I'm giving you names of guys who would be considered to be ordinary until you compare them to Blake Bortles, and they'd be viewed as exceptional.
Isn't it risky to switch it up to bring in one of those
guys are on his level. They're on his level.
Listen, what I'm saying, no. Look, what I'm saying to you is
they're just cheaper.
What I'm saying to you is this. We've seen a great moment against the Jets from Blake Bortles, not really much else. He played decent last year, particularly in the playoffs. But in the end, what it comes down to is that you gave him a contract extension. It's not like you just came back. You gave him a 3-year, $54 million extension with $26.5 million guaranteed. Now, did it shave off your cap obligations? Sure. Did you modify things in that regard to position you to go out there and get additional players? Yes, you did. But ultimately, what you did was send a message to a championship contender. We're going to stand pat. We are not going to try to upgrade because we think we got enough when you knew your damn defense never believed that you had enough because they go against Blake Bortles every day in practice. They did not believe it. They did not want him there. You kept him there against the wishes and the judgment of players who play against this guy. And it has cost you a season and now has us thinking about the Tom Coughlin that couldn't make the playoffs all them damn years with the Giants before he left, as opposed to the Tom Coughlin that won the 2 Super Bowls. That's your problem here.
I think you guys hit on a lot of good things. Primarily, it's going to be circled around the quarterback, okay? Why in the hell did you not bring in competition for Blake Bortles? I mean, that to me, that's my central.
Don't you think he was scared to mess it up because things were working?
Well, first of all, I think that's a flawed philosophy anyway, because how many defensive-centric teams go on to go win the Super Bowl in this era of offensive football? It really doesn't happen, okay? To sit here and think that the Jacksonville Jaguars will continue to repeat their performances year after year where they're heavily relied on defense in a league where in the NFL, where they're pleading for offensive production. We're seeing just outrageous numbers. And to think that the Jacksonville Jaguars, again this year, will be able to hold teams down like they were doing last year, to me is just flawed by Tom Coughlin and how they made up their roster. You didn't bring in competition at the quarterback. You didn't bring in more weapons on the outside to help whoever the quarterback was, whether it be Blake Bortles or any type of competition. You just couldn't depend on a defense game after game after game to try to hold down these explosive offenses. It's not possible.
Can we just be totally honest?
What?
We constantly ride players because of their egos. Some of these executives, most, have bigger egos. The Jacksonville Jaguars drafted Blake Bortles in 2014, and they've been trying to validate his existence ever since.
And that predates Coughlin.
The man predates Coughlin. The man is 24-48 as a starter. 24-48 with a career completion percentage of 59.
Yeah.
That's who he is. One winning season in 5 years, which was last year. Tom Coughlin comes there, and you decide, because you got to remember, like you said, Max, it predated Coughlin. So when Coughlin gets there, and you decide
they invested a third overall pick in him. And some of it's wish casting. You wish you had a quarterback, you need one. You know who else was in that draft? Johnny Manziel, bust. Teddy Bridgewater was solid, but probably wasn't going to be elite, and then got hurt. Derek Carr looked like he was going to be good. Turns out he's not. Garoppolo is now hurt. If the guy's not there, he's not there. And then it happened again to them. First, before Coughlin, they wish cast Bortles into a third overall pick. Then once Coughlin's there, boy, if we only had a quarterback, we could take the next step. Let's imagine that could be Bortles. Very dangerous, like wishful thinking.
They have signed him to a one-year deal, or then they would have lost him?
Yeah, they may have lost him or whatever, but what kind of loss would it have been? Again, you're sending a message to the team that you're not prioritizing winning. You're trying to be safe because you know good and damn well he wasn't good enough. And oh, by the way, just so you know, they passed up on Khalil Mack in that draft.
Odell Beckham Jr., Aaron Donald.
Everybody, I mean, Lord have mercy.
But you know what? But you know what's dangerous about Jacksonville Jaguars is that year after year their defense had to hold it down. That takes a strain. That puts a strain on your locker room. And when you have a quarterback as inept as Blake Bortles, this is what you start to see. Everything starts to unravel.
I believe that's why they had the trouble. See, when Jalen Ramsey talked all of that talk, that's because he believed in himself and his defense. Right. He's looking at these guys now. They want to kill these boys.
They
want to kill these boys because they can't score.
They were a mess. They haven't made the playoffs 7 out of 8 years, guys. Come on. Last year was an aberration. All right, Damian.
Not that defense and no aberration.
Good to have you with us.